Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Tarot Scopes again. We're going to be doing the Tarot Scope for the sign of Capricorn. There's my Capricorn. Um, for the month of May 2025, that's Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Rising. Before we get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls, seekers, as it were. To my tried and true who have been with me for years and have had to walk this very circuitous journey along with me, I really do appreciate all your support over all these years. To my new members on YouTube, welcome to the membership. It will grow and it will expand as I get my feet wet in the whole genre of memberships. Um, and I'll be doing some lives and some more card readings for you guys. So you can look forward to that. And to my Patreon folks who have been with me for years, I could say the same to you. More coming for you specifically. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so I think we're going to start, or have been doing it this month, is we look at the astrology of the month. And then we'll look at it specifically for your sign. So let me just get to that place here. Did it again. Okay. I'm actually trying to click the thing that says slideshow and I end up clicking the thing that shuts me off. I'm back. All right. So let's get to let's look at specifically for the just for the month. Okay. So here we have the tree of life in the middle here. And these are the vibrations this month that we're dealing with. Of course, the 9 here, the Hermit card, that's the universal year vibration. So we deal with that all year. 9 is about separating the wheat from the chaff. It's about healing. It's about sharing your wisdom and knowledge. It's about wrapping things up and letting go of that which no longer serves while visualizing and being a visionary for the seeds for the future. This is important to pay attention to this year, to pay attention to that which you want to seed into the new consciousness. We have the 5 vibration that goes along with the 5th month of May. It is the Hierophant card, which happens to be the Taurus card. The Hierophant deals with wisdom. It also deals with what holds things together. And it's wisdom both in a traditional sense, like professors and the like, and popes and people who are at the higher echelons of organizations, but it also includes ancient wisdom. Wisdom is wisdom, tried and true things that have worked, but are more like universal laws. So the universal law coming in. And when we add these 2 vibrations, we get the 3rd vibration, which is the Temperance card. The Temperance card is about tempering. It's about putting one foot in front of the other, not getting caught up in extremes. It is a trial by fire. So it's a challenging path. It's a steep path. It is the path of the mystic. And the mystic aspires to the wisdom of the heart. So that's where we're being asked to move into this month. So the month starts pretty quickly, off with a bit of a bang here as Venus conjoins Neptune at 1 degree of Aries. Venus is just coming out of her retrograde cycle. She came out of her retrograde cycle right in April, when the 12th of April, when we had that full moon in Venus rule sign Libra, and then Libra started moving forward. At that point, she was in Pisces, and she moved into Aries at the end of April. And as she enters May, she conjoins Neptune, which just moved into Aries. back on the 30th of, yeah, it was the 30th of March. And so now Venus is moving forward. She's conjoining Neptune. She's not quite out of her shadow. That's going to be interesting when that happens. But she is ready. She is ready for battle, and she takes on and the first thing that she's, meeting up with is Neptune, the planet of uh, imagination, but also the planet of illusion and delusion and things that are difficult to see, fog and the like. But it's also the morphogenic field. And so the energy of creation invested in the morphogenic field, based on what it is that is closest to your heart, Venus, because Venus is about love, brings a lot of power. So really coming into May with a real clear, focused intention of that which is most important to you, to focus on creating something around that to sustain that energy. And it's not just, individual, it's also collective stuff that's happening because we have the collective energy of Neptune in the individual sign of Aries. So we all have the power really. On Sunday the 4th, we have Pluto stationing in Aquarius, 4 degrees of Aquarius. Pluto has moved as far forward in Aquarius as it's going to this year. It's going to go retrograde. I think it goes back to about 1.5 or 2 degrees before it goes direct, and then continues on its journey. But it's not going to reach this point again till next year. So as Pluto goes retrograde, we start to reevaluate our evolution. How have we evolved? How have we evolved through this period? On the 5th, Mercury makes a sextile to Jupiter. It is a sextile that brings in information, but knowledge, it's not data, it's knowledge, it's experiential knowledge that we can talk to each other and open the lines of communication with us to create a better future for all of us. On May 10th, Mercury ingresses into Taurus. Mercury, the sign, the planet of the mind, moving into an Earth sign makes you feel better, Capricorn. And it calms us down a bit, which I think is probably a good thing, and makes us more practical minded, which is a necessary thing. On the 12th, we have a full moon in Scorpio, 23 degrees of Scorpio. Of course, the sun is in Taurus. It is the axis of values, the values that we have, the resources that we have, we as individuals, and then as a collective. So there's an awareness around both our personal worth and value and that which we share with others. We also have Mercury with the first quarter square to Pluto on that day. That can be a little controlling, so watch for that, especially controlling through speech. May 17th, the sun in Taurus, conjoins Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus. And then a few days later, we have Mercury do the same thing, conjoin Uranus. And that happens on the 24th. So let's see, how many days is that? So 7 days. So 7 days to 7 days, right? Or something like this. Is it 7 days? I think so. Yeah. And that's 28 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is at the end of Taurus, and we'll be actually moving into Gemini in July, at least for a little bit, before it recedes back into Taurus. But all the same, it gets a little taste of that. But right now we have the conjunction. This starts the synodic cycle. It's a cycle of illumination. It's a cycle of illumination. And we may be illuminated to something on that day. Uranus usually works pretty quickly. On the 18th, we have Mercury squaring Mars. That is, could be a little argumentative, or a lot. On the 20th, we have a sextile, lovely sextile between Saturn and the Sun, illuminating the need for structures, right? Right. What kind of structures do we need? Talking that over as the sun ingresses into Gemini, moving into that more airy sign of Gemini. On the 22nd, we have a lovely trine between Venus and Mars and a sextile between Neptune and the Sun. This is really nice for relationships. Could be a little bit too imaginative, or is there such a thing? This is a little, I think this can be a little spot of joy if we allow it. On the 24th, we have the Sun. This is a big day because we have the Sun making a trine to Pluto. That is it's a Leo side trine, so there can be a lot of ego involved in this. At the same time, we have Mercury conjoin Uranus. Mercury and Uranus are special because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. It's like the lower mind and the higher mind are all together on the same page at 28 degrees of Taurus. And probably the most important thing that happens this month, Saturn ingresses into Aries. It hasn't been in this sign for a long time, the 90s, I believe. And so this is, and Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So when Saturn, the planet of reality, dips its toe into the beginning of the zodiac, we know that we're going to be starting something new. But it does go back into Pisces and then back into Aries at the beginning of next year when it conjoins Neptune in February and just stays in Aries. So this again, we get these little sort of like tastes, little views of the possibilities for the future if we invest in them. So keep your eyes peeled on that day. There'll be important things to see. On the 25th, Mercury ingresses into Gemini. Happy, happy Mercury in the sign that it rules, and makes a waxing sextile to Saturn. So this opens the lines of communication. It could even be the opening of a line of communication that has some sort of ability to stand the test of time. It's new. It's like a new technology coming in. On the 26th, Mercury makes a sextile to Neptune, which means that Neptune, the planet of spirit, the planet of divinity, of the divine, but also, kind of it can be lying, it can be obfuscating. It's smoke and mirrors with Neptune. We always have to keep that in mind. But it does make this opening sextile to Mercury, opening our minds up to fantastic things, but also hopeful things and all kinds of. So there's vision here. It's not vision that is necessarily what's going to happen, but it's the possibilities of what could happen. And on the same day, we have a new moon in Gemini, which is a new idea being planted. So it's a pretty powerful day for new ideas. You do want to make sure that it's your ideas and not somebody else's ideas, right? Like you, at some point, we have to figure out what it is that we need, what we want, what we love, what we're willing to work for, what we're willing to fight for. Um, it's life is a gift that we're given to utilize to the best of our ability. And a lot of us spend a lot of time listening to what other people think we should do without really looking within ourselves to figure that out. That's where the power lies. So that's what we likely need to do, right? Okay. On the 27th, we have Mercury making a trine to Pluto. That is a creative, self-expressive trine. It's like the soul is speaking to us. And then on the 30th, we have a conjunction of the Sun and Mercury at 10 degrees of Gemini. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at specifically for you, Capricorn. All right, so let's take a look at what's specific to you, Capricorn. You can see that the majority of the energy is down in the the right lower corner here of the chart. That part of the chart is where we interact with family, with children, with coworkers. It's kind of like our everyday relationships that are more personal. that are more sort of undercover. They're not out in the world, right? So there's a more of a uh, taking care of business through your relationships kind of energy for Capricorn at this time. And this is especially an important month for you, Cap, because your ruler, Saturn, does change signs. It goes from a sign that you have some um, ease of energy with, which is Pisces, it's sextile Capricorn. So there's a communication and an opportunity between those two signs. But as it moves into Aries, it's in a sign that's in a square to it. So there's more tension when it moves into Aries, but also that tension does breed a sense of having, to take action and start to rebuild. Like Saturn in Aries is a time of rebuilding, whereas Saturn in Pisces is a time of dissolution. And so again, when we're looking at these energies sort of visiting upon us briefly and then going back to finish something up, we can get a sense of, what's the new thing to be built, right? It's going to, as it moves into that fourth house of yours, it's really like right at it's like rock bottom, really, literally perhaps, and figuratively about, where you're at and what you want to start to build upon. And so it's an important time, and it's an important time to pay attention to your visions, pay attention to your that voice within. We have Venus moving through the fourth house all month. It conjoins with Neptune. Now we also have Neptune here in the fourth house. The fourth house is the house of soul. And of course, Neptune can be a very soulful energy in itself. Mercury starts the month in the fourth house, then moves into the fifth when it moves into Taurus, then moves in to Gemini towards the end of the month and goes into that sixth house. The sun sitting in the fifth house does highlight fun. So, Capricorns aren't always, that's not always the first word that comes out of somebody's mouth when they describe a Capricorn, but I know Capricorns, they're a lot of fun, but they tend to wait until their work is done to have fun. So, uh, why don't you just take a day off and have some fun, right? This month, have some fun. Uranus is still in that fifth house, still causing trouble. What are you gonna do? It's almost out, but then it goes into your house of health, which is a different ball of wax. So we'll talk about it when it happens. Jupiter's moving through your sixth house, which is expansion. It could be expansion of responsibilities at work, expansion of responsibilities for something. The sixth house is a house of service, so there can be more service to be had. But it's also a house of health, and Jupiter is a benefic, generally benefic energy, and so I think it balances it out somewhat. That when the sun moves into Gemini, it does move into your house of health. And so health concerns or health issues, you're just looking at it. It's like um, the room that deals with your health and well-being, the light just went on. And so when the light's on, you can see where you may need to clean out a corner or do something differently. It illuminates that. So it's illuminating your service, it's illuminating your general health, how you treat your physical body, and you'll know whether you've been doing a good job or a bad job, and you will make the changes necessary if changes need to be made. We have the new moon in that house of health, so this is a good time for a new sort of health regime. um, and the full moon is happening in the 11th house with the sun in the fifth house. This is the axis of love. um, and so, it's love. It's actually a pretty passionate full moon. So, just so uh Pluto now in your second house, finally out of your sign after 16 years, is now transforming your values. Mars, now moving forward in Leo, is in the eighth house. Um, it's a passionate house again. There's a lot of passion in this chart this month. But I find May to be one of the more sensual months of the year anyway. And it looks like your chart is reflecting that as well. And perhaps you have some sensuality or passion coming into your life. All right, let's look at the cards. I'm going to be using, I just had them. Oh, here they are. I'm going to be using the Wildwood deck for you guys. And then I'm pulling a Spirit of the Wheel Oracle Meditation Deck Oracle card. All right. Excuse me. Just shuffle up here. Wow. Looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting month for you. Capricorn. Capricornians. Sometimes they're corniest. I don't know if that's true. I just made that song up. You can decide for yourself. Are you a corny Capricorny? I'm pretty corny. I do have some Capricorn in my chart. Saturn, of course. Saturn. Boom, boom, boom. The most serious sign and the most serious planet. I'm so serious. No wonder I'm laughing. Well, a good antidote to that is laughter, right? So you got to keep laughing. My mom used to say, and I've said it many times, and I like to spread my mother's wisdom because she did say some interesting things. She said, you're either going to be laughing or you're going to be crying. So you might as well be laughing. She's say. She was kind of zany. She was kind of zany. She reminded me of Lucille Ball sometimes. And she always had like a cohort who was kind of like an Ethel character. But Lucy couldn't have been Lucy without Ethel. So, all right. So where do we start? Well, you're in a little bit of a funk as you start the month. Feeling a little like this is called boredom, but I almost feel like there's a. Have you convinced yourself there's nothing you can do about something? You're just going to have to live with it? Is that what you've convinced yourself of? Well, let's see what challenges that. Love. Oh, it's about love. What's a passionate month? Woo woo. Yeah, this is about love. It's about commitment. It's about sharing. It's about contracts. It can be about contracts. It is an emotional card. It's about trust. It's about opening up to trust. Maybe trusting the universe again. It's been challenging, especially for a sign that likes to go by the rules, that actually pretty much wrote the rules. Uh, underneath it all is the King of Arrows, the Kingfisher. The Kingfisher sort of glides along the thing and then gets the fish, right? So this is a very focused energy. Um, it's looking for opportunity. This is the King of Swords. So utilizing your mind to look for opportunities. Now that's interesting because your environment is one of sort of boredom, and yet underneath it all is this scanning the waters for the opportunity, for the fish, for the all right, let's see what's in the past. I'm not exactly. We have the Eight of Vessels here, the Eight of Cups. In this deck, it's called Rebirth. It's kind of about it's almost like coming together and separating. It's like coming together and then going in on your own path. Okay, let's see what's in the sky. Um, this is the Justice card in this deck. It's called the Woodward, the Warden of the Woods, I guess. Making sure that as you sow, so shall you reap. The laws of karma, the laws of compensation are kept. This guy is in his way, the cop on the beat. it is a justice card. So there's justice in the sky. Let's see what's in the immediate future. The Knight of Stones, the horse in this deck, called the horse. The Knight understands hard work. The Knight protects their resources. What I would say here, I haven't been able to know what these cards meant yet until this point, but it looks like don't be lulled by a sense of inevitability, or just like you have to make sure that you're conscious of people who might be wanting to use this opportunity um, to maybe run off with some resources of yours. So I want to say that there's a sense in these cards of um, keeping your eye on the ball here and protecting yourself. I don't feel like you're necessarily not doing that, because that would be your natural tendency anyway. But there's some sort of this, the cards are saying you're not paying attention to something. And it may be a relationship. It may be somebody that you've been in a relationship with, or that you have a relationship with, that's not keeping their part of the bargain. Okay? How it's seen from the outside. This is called insecurity, but you're a mark or something, right? That there are people taking shots at you. Your domestic situation. Okay. Four of Stones, protection, protecting your home. Again, protect your home, protect you. The other day I was thinking about um how I have this feeling that one of the reasons that in this country they're sort of making it really difficult to afford your life is so that they can like make you almost, is the word indigent, like nomadic in a way, and then they take the land, or they take the property, or they take the home, they take the homeland perhaps. So these cards are all talking about being self-protective at this time. Hopes and fears, the king of adders here, the king of bows. This is the king of uh, of fire, of wands in this deck, and there is this, like, he's risen out of the jumble of snakes here. So the hope might be that you can rise above the chaos, rise above the chaos. Let's see what the outcome is. We have the Five of Bows, which is empowerment. Now notice that this is a very happy guy. And I did say that this was going to be a very sensual time, right? So we have a club, we have a bow and arrow, we have an erection, we have all kinds of stuff here. Empowerment, empowering yourself, taking action on the information that you have, moving out of troubled waters, and starting a whole new path. Yeah, I feel like there's something coming to an end here for you. It could be a relationship. It's going to put you on a whole new path. And the most important thing so far is to protect your assets. Underneath it all, we have the Two of Bows. This is about sort of being on fire, really. A decision to walk, a decision is made. A decision needs to be made. That might be what this is about. Scanning to see when you can get what you need to get. And then we also have the Hermit here, which is, of course, one of the vibrations for the month. and for the whole year, actually. And then we have the Three of Bows, fulfillment. So this is about a decision that you need to base your wisdom, you need to base on your wisdom, and then it's going to work out for you. Okay, so I feel like you're going to be at your Capricorn best. I think that whatever comes up to sort of put you into your protecting your resources, planning for the future, seeing a new opportunity, being willing to take it based on your wisdom, comes out of a little bit of a shock around a relationship maybe that you thought was okay, if not a little boring, but at least okay. That may be the thing that sort of puts you back in your on your heels, and then Capricorns can climb any mountain. So let's see what the spirit of the wheel says. All right. So, sometimes you can read in countries with these cards as well, and the Capricorn country that comes to mind, and I don't know all the countries and their signs, but I know that England, Great Britain is Capricorn, so this might apply a little bit to if you happen to live there. This reading could apply to that. If you do, you let me know if I'm right about that. Oops. Okay, let me get the other cards here. All right, Spirit of the Wheel, meditation deck. I'll show you the cover so you can. This is it. I've shown it on all of them. Oh wait, wrong side. Sorry about that. There it is. Can you see? There it is. Oh, there we go. All right. The art is beautiful, by the way. When I get a new deck of tarot cards, and I have so many. I've been doing tarot for 30 years, so I have I have a collection. I don't have the biggest collection. I know some of my friends, especially some of them who read on YouTube, have a lot more than I do, but my husband will say, "Another deck?" And I'll say, "It's art. I'm collecting art." So that's how I say it's okay. 'Cause I collect art. I just love looking at the pictures. It's like handy art in your hand. At this rate, I'll never be able to afford like a Picasso, because I'll be spending all my money on cards, but hey, whatever makes you happy, right? All right, let's see, what do we have here? All right, we have trust, spirit path of the South, personal space, openness, and faith. Let's see what it says. That's a little different from the read, so let's see. This may be for a specific person, or maybe that reading was a specific, and this is for everybody else, but I haven't read it, so, oh, I got to do this. Okay, I can't see. All right, these look like two golden eagles, I think. I just love the artwork. All right, and I will read it to you. See, lovely, right? Personal space, openness, and faith. Each of us has an area around us we consider our personal space. Once violated, our capacity to trust and love becomes compromised. We pull back from others, widening the parameter of space we use to protect ourselves. If we had had a sad misfortune of being repeatedly abused or violated, then the process of learning to trust again can be a long and painful one. Fortunately, as long as we have on that armor on, then we can never fully love. Receiving and giving love is a part of our very essence and is needed for our survival and growth. To live with love or trust leads to a cold, lonely existence. We all need someone we can trust and share our hearts with. Begin to develop a relationship of trust with yourself and with Great Spirit. Okay, the reading, I'm going to continue, but what comes to mind with that reading and this card is that that sense of being sort of being shocked by something that somebody that you thought you knew did to you. Perhaps that's the thing that put you back on your heels and made you into that Capricorn that, where ambition is almost more important than personal relationships. But we have to remember that the Fool card came up, and that indicates a whole new, totally different kind of experience. So wherever you are on the spectrum of that, know that there's something new coming in, that there's something new coming in. And, you're a card. You're a sign that utilizes your capacity, your abilities, your talents, and the talents of others. You recognize what other people are good at, and you can use that to your advantage, but not necessarily as a way to just move yourself forward, but to really create something that people can depend on, because Capricorns are very dependable. And while sometimes people think you're a little strict and stern and the like, it teaches lessons. It teaches Capricorns teach lessons, and not everybody likes to be taught a lesson. So thank you for doing that for us, guys. Okay, so I'll continue. It says, now it is the time to surrender and release your doubts and anxieties to a higher purpose. If we can have faith and trust in Creator's greater plan, then we can begin the process of healing our wounds and gently over time expose our true self to others. Look at the areas of your life where you're holding yourself back due to mistrust. Take the first step by learning to love and accept yourself for who you really are. Help me create, this is your prayer. Help me, Creator, to surrender to the light of your love. Once I learned to love and value myself, I will be willing to accept into my life only that which is for my highest good. All right. There you go, Capricorn. Corny Capricorny. Have yourself a good month. You got this. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you again next month for the Tarot-Scopes for June. Ooh, another nutty month. Take care, everyone. Namaste.